Jinsu is your typical Gunner Manhwa protagonist like the viewers of this video, whose bully is living in his apartment because he owes her 10 million won. But things weren't always this bad for him. Just 2 months ago, he was in school with her bully, Dejong. Even then she used to treat him like a personal slave and always asked him to bring her snacks. But Dejong isn't your typical broke bully who asks for lunch money. Instead, she gave our boy her own credit card for buying stuff. Here we get to know that she had applied to the same college as Jinsu, but there's no way someone like her who has the attention span of a goldfish could get in. Unfortunately for our boy, she got accepted and Jinsu panics because now he has to deal with college studies and his bully at the same time. Realizing he is screwed, he goes home and finds a letter on the table. It's from his mom who is on a business trip to Japan and left him some cash so he doesn't starve to death. He turns on his PC and we find out that our boy is also a wannabe finance bro because he regularly tracks crypto coins. Today seems to be his lucky day because the crypto graph is going up just like the RAM prices and he thinks about pumping the meme coin. But just like me, he is brokey and has wasted all of his money on Sophie Rain's OnlyFans. If only he had money right now, he could become the next Warren Buffett. But then he remembers Dejong's credit card and thinks about investing. He catches himself lacking because she would kill him if she found out about it. But the crypto chart just keeps going up, so he eventually gives in and ends up pumping the meme coin. However, the next day he gets his ass handed to him by Dejong because the crypto market has crashed and she lost all her money. Now she demands her money back, including interest. So he had to let her live in his apartment for free and become her servant. To sustain all these expenses, he gotten himself a part-time job where he has a crush on his coworker with big bakery buns, Yesel. She is the only good thing in his life because she has great heart. Back at the apartment, Dejong was trying play with her kitty using a vibrating toy because there aren't any decent guys in college. However, the toy broke down and she immediately texts Jinsu to bring her a big thick cucumber on his way back home. He gets confused and wonders if she is going to make a salad, but just then Yesel sees her text and asks if that's his girlfriend. He quickly denies it and she replies, "That's a relief." Jinsu is surprised to hear that and wonders if Yesel has a crush on him. That night Dejong was out partying with her friends in a bar. There she sees a Chad-looking guy and decides to approach him. She asks if she can drink with him and after looking at her big milk factories, the guy instantly agrees. They chat for a while and this man ends up fumbling the bag because he indirectly called Dejong a hoe. She ends up ditching the party and goes back home, asking Jinsu about the cucumber. He tells her it's in the fridge and she orders him to lock himself up in the bathroom because she is going to make salad with it. Dejong then grabs the thick cucumber and starts playing with her kitty, but then it snaps. This pisses her off and she goes in the bathroom to confront Jinsu, but she ends up slipping on the floor because Jinsu forgot to clean his Gunner grease from his previous FAP session. She looks up and sees him playing with his own thick cucumber. In the middle of his FAP session, Jinsu tells her she can't just enter the bathroom like that, but she just kicks him out and locks the door. Dejong couldn't believe that a loser like Jinsu was packing a 6-inch Subway sandwich in his pants, so she comes out and bans Jinsu from beating his Johnny until he pays her 10 million won. If she found out that he is beating his meat, she'll just chop it off. It has been a week since Jinsu hasn't lubricated his lightsaber and the stress is getting to his head because he is simply too busy with university. He heads back home and texts Dejong if she needs anything, but doesn't get a response. While walking, he reveals that college is filled with 2 types of people: outsiders, aka losers, and insiders, who get invited to parties all the time. Guess which group he belongs to. But in his case, things aren't so bad because he has Yesel, who is like a light of hope in his depressed life. He goes to the convenience store and she is happy to see him. They talk for a bit and she waves him goodbye while getting off her shift. Jinsu is dead tired but somehow manages to complete his shift and goes home with a thick cucumber for Dejong's salad. Upon entering the apartment, he greets her but sees Dejong with a roll of tape in her hand. Turns out she went on a date earlier today and met a total stud. They went to a motel to have some fun and she was hoping to say goodbye to the cucumber. But this guy was packing a jalapeno instead of a cucumber and she could feel it inside her. Then she remembered Jinsu's big juicy cucumber and decided to make salad with it when she goes home. Back to our boy who was all tied up and was about to get his cucumber devoured by Dejong. She brings out a balloon and puts it on his cucumber and starts making salad with it. The cucumber was so good that she started jumping with happiness and was losing her mind over it. Meanwhile, Jinsu was trying to hold back because it was his first time feeling his cucumber being used for a salad. The next day, he woke up and quietly left the apartment because he didn't want to annoy Dejong. He goes through his daily routine like an NPC and ends the day by checking the crypto market, but it's down bad like you guys watching this video. He goes back to his apartment and finds Dejong watching manga recap video from Ashcaps. They greet each other and Jinsu is surprised at how casual Dejong is, even after getting her cheeks clapped by him. She asks him to make ramen for her and after eating it, she goes to sleep like usual. This confuses Jinsu and he wonders if he is the only one acting weird. He goes outside to get some fresh air and finds Yesil working at the store. They greet each other and she asks if he lives far away from here, but Jinsu reveals that his place is not that far. Since he isn't on duty right now, she treats him like a customer and asks how can she help him. This lightens his mood and he looks around the store for a snack. Yesil suggests a pasta cup and says this is pretty popular with the customers lately due to a prize event. He gets 1 cup for himself and scans the QR code, hoping to win a car from the pasta cup event. He spins the wheel and wins 2 movie tickets instead of a Bugatti like Andrew Tate. So he cashes in his movie tickets and asks Yesil if she would like to go to the movies with him. It's the weekend and we see Dejong blow drying her hair. She asks Jinsu why is he looking at her like that and wonders if he wants to use the blow dryer as well. Dejong wonders if he trying to impress a girl or something and that was exactly his plan. But she couldn't give a single flying F about him and leaves the apartment after getting ready. Jinsu dashes towards the blow dryer and quickly goes through his looks maxing routine because he is going to meet Yesil at 12 o'clock. He runs towards the theater because he too broke to afford an Uber and barely makes it in time. Yesil was already there and told him that the movie hasn't started yet, so if they make a mad dash, they will reach there in time. While running, Yesil accidentally punches Jinsu's man jewels and this sends a shockwave across his body. Despite the setback, they reach the theater just in time. While watching the movie, Jinsu receives a phone call and it's from Dejong. She asks where he is and so her tells her that he is at the movies right now. She summons him to the subway exit number 3 because she is craving a salad and wants to use his big cucumber. Jinsu thinks about his ongoing date with Yusul and tells Dejong that now is not a good time. But this only pisses her off and she yells at him to bring his ass over to the subway station. Also, until he pays her the money back, his cucumber also belongs to her. She gives him 5 minutes to reach the location or else he is a dead meat. We then see Dejong meeting up with her friends in a cafe and they started gossiping. The staff was getting visibly annoyed by their loud chatter, but they couldn't do anything. When Dejong told her friends that she didn't have a boyfriend, they could believe it because she couldn't function normally without getting backshots. Speaking of which, she remembered Jinsu and she couldn't get him out of her head. Ever since banging him, she hasn't felt satisfied and talking to her friends was reminding her of Jinsu even more. She then quickly got up and apologized to her friends because it was time for her appointment. The scene then shifts to a motel room where Jinsu was taking a shower and Dejong was sitting on a chair. She shouted at him to scrub his cucumber thoroughly because she doesn't like it when it's dirty. He then steps outside the shower but naked and Dejong orders him to bring his hand forward. He does and she puts a handcuff of them. She then brings out a balloon and puts it on the cucumber while getting ready to make a salad. She then lies down on the bed and Jinsu starts making a creamy cucumber salad. But during the process, Jinsu's phone starts vibrating and it turns out to be text from Yesil who was asking for his whereabouts. He thinks about how he left her in the movie theater without saying anything and wonders if it's over for him now. But still, he doesn't want to give up on her. So he asks Dejong to untie his hands because he has to take care of his group project. Eventually she caves in and unties him. Jinsu then grabs his phone and asks if he can multitask while giving her backshots. She's fine with it as long as he can balance texting and backshots. So he does just that and starts texting Yesil. He apologizes for abruptly leaving the theater but she goes cold turkey on him. He thinks it's over for him but Yesil replies after a few moments. She asks if he's okay and asks where is he. Jinsu starts capping and somehow manages the situation. She then asks if he is at the apartment and pitches the idea of visiting him, which catches him off guard. Meanwhile, Dejong was tired of getting sloppy cucumber and told him to pipe her up properly. So he tossed his phone to the side and went full Johnny Sins mode on her. Jinsu ended up dispensing his thick mayonnaise in Dejong and she allowed him to go home since he made a really good salad. He took a shower and texted Yesil his address, who then agreed to visit his crib tomorrow at 3 p.m. The next day, Yesil was trying to find Jinsu's place via Google Maps and eventually reached the spot. Meanwhile, he was bussing trying to hide Dejong's clothes because he doesn't want to create any misunderstanding. He once again took a shower and this point, his hygiene is better than 90% of my viewers. He looked at the clock and it was already 2 p.m. Someone then knocked on the door and he quickly put a mask on his face. Opening the door, he finds Yesil along with her two massive hearts standing in front of him. Upon seeing Jinsu, she asks if he is okay, and our boy immediately becomes Leonardo DiCaprio on the spot and starts improvising. Yesil then sits on the hair and starts checking out his room. But that's when Jinsu spots Dejong's hair strand on his bedsheet and starts panicking. He can't Yesil see it or else she'll misunderstand. Acting like a total clown, he jumps on the bed and pretends to be tired. She puts her hand on his forehead and tells him to take medicine because his head feels hot. She then decides to make lunch for him since he is too sick to cook something for himself. Yesil then turns around and starts showing Jinsu her wifey skills, and he seems really impressed. Meanwhile, Dejong was in a cafe, getting bored out of her mind because there weren't any good guys around. It was Jinsu's first time getting taken care of by a woman other than his mama, and it felt quite strange to him. The porridge was done and Yesil brought it to him. They sat down in front of each other and she started spoon-feeding him.
It should have been me, not him! It's not fair!
Jinsu felt quite embarrassed by this situation, but then a phone notification ruined their wholesome moment. He listened to the voice note and Yesil started noticing the changes in his demeanor. Turns out Dejong was coming back at the worst moment possible, and he turned on his Gunnar Matrix brain to think of a way out of this mess. Suddenly, he ran towards the apartment door and could hear Dejong's footsteps in the hallway. Turning around, he apologized to Yesil and grabbed her wrist to hide somewhere. When Dejong entered the apartment, it was pin-drop silence in there, and turns out Jinsu was hiding in the closet with Yesil. They were pressed against each other and Jinsu's cucumber accidentally touched Yesil, which made her moan a little. Jinsu got worried because if Dejong found out about them, his life will be over. But he was relieved to see that Yesil wasn't panicking. She then whispered in his ear to tell her what's going on here, or else she will scream. This was a real test of Jinsu's manhwa protagonist abilities because he had to think while both of his heads were occupied. So he came up with a genius excuse and told Yesil that the girl standing outside was his cousins and her parents were really old-fashioned. So if they found out that he brought a girl over to his place, things will get messy. Thankfully, Yesil believed his dumb story and Jinsu felt relieved. Meanwhile, Dejong noticed the porridge on the table and began snacking on it. It was too bland for her taste and she felt really bored. So she took off her pants and started playing with her vertical lips for entertainment. Inside the closet, Jinsu couldn't take his eyes off of Yesil's personalities and was totally bricked up. Yesil felt his thick cucumber touching her inner thigh and told him she didn't mind it at all. Outside, Dejong was watching mukbang videos while lying on the bed. Then someone rang the doorbell and turns out she ordered Korean fried chicken for herself as she got hungry while watching mukbang videos. She then ate it all by herself and went to sleep. When Jinsu couldn't hear anything, came out of the closet and saw Dejong lying on the bed, without a care in the world. He was really pissed at her because they had to hide in the closet because of her. When Yesil asked if he was okay, Jinsu shook his hand in the air, signaling he was fine. She said it was fine because she knew what was going on with him. Suddenly, she went up to him and grabbed his cucumber, asking if he would like her to lubricate it for him. She then gets down her knees and starts giving our boy the Gok Gok 3000 treatment. He then looks over to Dejong because if she woke up, he is screwed beyond measure. But Yesil was doing such a great job at giving him the treatment that he ended up dispensing his yogurt. Turns out Yesil loves yogurt and swallowed it raw. On top of that, she gave him a cute smile. In that moment, Jinsu imagined his whole life with her and ready to propose her. She then got up and left the apartment. While she was heading to the door, Jinsu's brain finally started working and he realized that Yesil actually liked him. So before she left, he grabbed her and told Yesil that he wasn't done yet. When she pointed out Dejong in the room, Jinsu proposed the idea of going to a motel and making a salad there. But Yesil politely declined, saying their relationship hasn't reached that stage yet. Jinsu was like, "You just gave me a BJ a few moments ago." Then she brought out her Dami mommy side and told Jinsu to listen when she talks. Who knows, she might let him hit if he listens to her like a good boy. Saying this, she left the apartment and Jinsu was left puzzled. She was okay with lubricating his cucumber but wasn't ready to make salad. What kind of relationship is this? Just then Dejong woke up and this startled Jinsu. She then squeezed his neck and asked why he wasn't answering her phone calls. This was too pressure for our boy, so he immediately tapped out. She wanted to beat the crap out of him but decided to do it later, because right now she was craving a thick cucumber salad. Seeing De Jong with her vertical lips exposed lying on the bed was a turn-on for him, so grabbed a ballon to cover his cucumber and started making salad. The next day he went to his part-time job and greeted Yesel. Jinsu was nervous and didn't know how she would react, but then he noticed she was wearing a skirt and he started grinning. She asked him to help her organize some stuff and he obliged. While talking, she asked how his cold was and Jinsu told her it was almost gone. But once again she brought back her Dami mommy expressions, saying he looks a little tired to her. The scene then shifts to De Jong, who was sitting in a classroom, getting bored to death. She receives a group text from her friend, saying she is inviting 5 good-looking guys from a different university and asked who wants to join her. But De Jong didn't care about good looks because for a glizzy gobbler like her, what mattered more was the size of their cucumber. This unintentionally reminded her of Jinsu, and just thinking about his cucumber makes her restless. At this point, she was getting addicted to our boy's salad-making technique. After the lecture was over, she headed out with her friends and one of them was gossiping about her recent experience with a guy. She told them that he looked like an average Joe, but his third leg was massive. De Jong was hearing all this and thought of bragging about her gobbling an extra-large-sized hot dog experience, but decided to remain quiet because she didn't want to reveal who the guy was. Now that she thought about it, Jinsu had gotten a bit more masculine than before. He has started to speak more clearly and even looks confident in himself, but then caught herself lacking and shook her head. When her friend asked her about if she was coming to the mixer session, she declined and waved them goodbye. Meanwhile, Jinsu was getting his cucumber lubricated by Yesel. She told our boy that she had put up an emergency on the entrance, so no one could disturb them. She grabbed his thick cucumber and gave him the extra deep gawk treatment. On the other hand, De Jong bought some energy drinks from a convenience store for Jinsu because today, she was planning to dry him out. By the time De Jong reached home, she was shocked to see Jinsu all sucked up like a lollipop. She couldn't understand what happened to him. But then something clicked and she asked if he fapped today. Jinsu denies the allegation because she would have caught him by now if he did that. De Jong wondered if it was her fault for milking him dry like that and handed him a bottle, ordering our boy to gulp it down. After that, she bends over and tells him to do his best. While giving her them back shots, he starts pondering and thinks he got weak because Yesel completely drained him. De Jong could feel that Jinsu wasn't 100% today and got frustrated because she was looking forward to it. Our boy suggested they should stop for today, but De Jong got angry and told him to get his cucumber thick for him. But then she stopped herself because it felt as if she was talking to her boyfriend who was no longer interested in her. Reverting back to her previous self, she told Jinsu to get some workouts in so he can make salad properly. The next day, Jinsu goes on a date with Yesel and they order pasta with meatballs. To thanks for such a fantastic meal, she goes to the men's bathroom and gives him an oral support. This has now become a daily routine for our boy as he gets drained by Yesel even when they are working at the convenience store. He even remembers that one time when he met her on the university campus when she came to visit her friend and gave him a gawk 3000 treatment. At this point, Jinsu was like, what if I ended up dying due to oral support? Meanwhile back at home, De Jong was waiting for him and told our boy to get ready for a smash session. He went to the fridge and drank the energy drinks that De Jong had bought for him. So once again, it was time for Jinsu to get milked like a cow titty. During their smash session, he slapped her bakery buns and thought his life would be over. But surprisingly, she didn't say anything and turns out she was enjoying every single bit of it. So he continued doing it until her baddie was beet red. If that wasn't shocking enough, De Jong kissed our boy during all this and this left Jinsu shocked. Why in the world De Jong, his high school bully, is doing this? After they were done creaming, De Jong hugged him and told him that if he kept making salad like that, she'll be nice to him. It was very confusing for Jinsu and he couldn't believe the words coming out of her mouth. Why is she acting cute all of a sudden? After waking up, she took a shower and was going outside, telling Jinsu that she might not come back home today. But when she got outside the apartment, her cheeks became pink and she couldn't believe how she acted while getting clapped. She started questioning herself and wondered why she did that for a loser like Jinsu, when she usually acts that way for chads. It was so embarrassing that she even forgot to eat before leaving the apartment. Lucky for her, there was a convenient nearby so she went in and bought some food. But when she was at the checkout counter, her transaction was denied because her card didn't have enough funds. She whipped out another card but it was also denied. Turns out it was same convenience store where Jinsu worked, and right now Yesel was duty. Dejong was really embarrassed, but she played it cool, saying she'll come back another time. She went to the ATM and her back balance was $1,230. She picked up her phone and called someone who tries to act like her dad. Turns out it was her brother and looks like they don't have a good relationship. Dejong got straight to the point and told him to give her the money back. He agrees, but only if she goes on a blind with the person that her father had set her up with. She got confused and asked what kind of date is it. So her brother reveals that their father wants to marry her in a wealthy family so they can snatch up a wealthy son-in-law. He then reminds her of the money that Jinsu had spent in meme coins and which pissed off Dejong. Meanwhile, Jinsu arrived at the store and Yesel greeted him with a smile as usual. But suddenly, he started seeing Dejong instead of Yesel and this messed him up a bit. She asked if he arrived early because he wanted to help her run the store, or because he was expecting something else. When she looked down, Jinsu was all bricked up and Yesel immediately knew what was going on. She revealed her birthday was coming in a few days and invited him to her apartment so they could celebrate it together. This was the exact moment bro was waiting for. A few days later, it was Yesel's birthday and Jinsu was walking towards her apartment. Also, Dejong was avoiding him for the past 2 days, which meant he has plenty of stamina. When he rang the doorbell, Yesel came out in a tight black dress looking like a total snack. Good thing he brought a balloon with him. He told her about the cake he got for her, but she grabbed his face and told him that the gift she wants is standing right in front of her. They kissed and immediately started their smash session. But before Jinsu whipped out his thick cucumber, Yesel revealed it was her safe day and this activated his beast mode. He didn't even use the balloon he bought for this moment. While delivering them backshots, for some reason he kept thinking about Dejong and this was driving him crazy. Meanwhile, she was sitting on a bench when her brother sent her 1 million won. Turns out she didn't get it for free and is going on that blind date that her brother was talking about a few days ago. She reached a traditional-looking restaurant and was greeted by a female worker while making her way in. But when the blind date called out her name, she was left shocked. She was expecting an ugly-looking person with a fat wallet, but it was actually a decent-looking guy. She sat down across from him and introduced herself. The boy introduced himself as well and revealed that he's 24 years old and a medical student. Dejong was absolutely shocked because this guy seemed too good to be true. He thought something was wrong with her and asked if they should go somewhere else because she doesn't look alright. He asked what she likes to do on the weekends and she lies about reading books. He then reveals that he goes fishing with his father because it's very difficult for him to take time off from her hospital director position. When Dejong heard about fishing, she remembered that her father was using her as a bait to trap a wealthy son-in-law for their family. She suddenly stood up and apologized, saying she has to go now. Meanwhile, Jinsu was out here clapping Yesel's cheeks and after their smash session, he slept like a baby. Upon waking up the next morning, he tried to get off of the bed but there were shackles around his hands. He didn't understand what was going on and this confused him. That's when Yesel entered the room and asked if he slept well. Jinsu asked if she did this to him and she admitted it. He thought it was some sort of a prank and asked Yesel to free him. But turns out she is a total freak because every single one of her moves up until this point was calculated. Yesel told him that she isn't satisfied by regular-sized cucumber and is into some freaky stuff if you know what I mean. But since he has passed her test, Yesel asks if wants to be her clap buddy. This immediately rings a bell for our boy since Dejong and her are basically doing the same thing. But in the end he agrees to become Yesel's clap buddy. To celebrate this partnership, she brings out the freaky toys and Jinsu was like,
Hey yo, what the fuck?
On the other hand, Dejong received a text from Park who was showing his interest in her. She was genuinely attracted to him, but was hesitant because it was an arranged date. A few moments later, Jinsu entered the apartment and Dejong asked where he was all this time. Before he could say anything, she ordered him to get down his knees. He got confused and wondered what was going on with her all of a sudden. She had noticed something on his neck and asked what was it. Jinsu lied, saying he scratched himself so he to apply a band-aid. She then planted her bakery buns on the bed and asked if he had bagged himself a girlfriend, because his cucumber isn't the same as before and there are other changes she has noticed as well. But then she clarifies that she isn't jealous at all and reminds him that until he pays her the 10 million won, his cucumber only belongs to her. She then orders him to get some drinks because they are going to have an honest conversation. When he pointed out that it's the middle of the day, she told him to get the dinks under 3 minutes 20 seconds, or else she is going to double his loan. Jinsu ran like Usain Bolt after hearing that and wondered why she wants to drink right now. After he left the apartment, Dejong started nibbling on her thumb and wondered why she feels so uncomfortable. She wonders why has she gone soft on him all of a sudden. Is it because she doesn't want to lose the two best guys in her life? But then she shakes her head, reminding herself that Jinsu isn't a real man. Her train of thoughts was wrecked when Jinsu suddenly came back with drink panting like a dog. He then poured soju for them and they started drinking. While chomping on the snacks, Dejong comments on how this might be the only way he can get a workout in, and he should thank her for it. This reminded Jinsu of the time when they were in high school, and even then Dejong used to make him do this. Whenever he used to bring them snacks in time, she used to tease him by flaunting her boing boings in front of him. Dejong then asks if he regrets not touching them when he had the chance, but Jinsu gets straight to the points and asks if she wants a cucumber salad. This stunned her because she wasn't expecting him to blunt like that. Jinsu got straight to the point and started making salad with his cucumber. While all this was going on, Yesel starts calling him because she was also craving a cucumber salad at the same time. It had been only half a day since she got clapped. So got a little frustrated because just when SH need him the most, he disappeared. Just then, she noticed a guy who reminded her of Jinsu because when she our boy for the first time, she had a hunch that he was packing a 6-inch sub down there. So she trusted her gut feeling and approached the guy, asking for help. Turns out this is the same boy that Dejong went on a date with, and he asks how he can help her. She plays the whole I lost a bet to my friend shtick and asks if he can play along for a moment. He takes her to a restaurant and after a while, asks where her friends are. Instead of lying, Yesel straight up tells him that she was just playing and hopes he doesn't get upset about it. We then cut to Dejong, who was surprised to see Jinsu sleeping right next to her on the same bed. But then she remembered his 5-star performance and decided not to say anything. Since his salad-making skills have gotten better, she was sure that he was practicing it with another girl. She doesn't care if he has a girlfriend, but if he clapping another girl, she won't forgive him. When Jinsu woke up, he couldn't find Dejong and assumed she went outside. So he picked up his phone and saw several missed calls from Yesel. He immediately called her and explained the situation, but she was chilling and told him it wasn't a big deal. After that phone call, he checked the crypto market and saw the meme coin graph going up. He then got ready for the university and left the apartment. Surprisingly, Dejong was stalking him because she was sure that someone was using Jinsu's cucumber for making salad. And today, she intends to find that person no matter what. As Jinsu was walking on the beautiful university campus, he got a feeling that someone was watching him. Turns out our boy knew it was Dejong, and more than that, he knew she was trying to catch him red-handed with Yesel. Seeing how persistent she was, Jinsu got worried because she might continue to follow him to work. So he went to an ATM machine and Dejong followed him as well. But in a split second he made a mad dash and left the queue. When she couldn't find him, she panicked. To shock her even more, he came behind her and asked what was she doing here. With no way out of this situation, she lied and told him that she was here to get some food. Jinsu knew she was lying and asked why is all by herself. Dejong couldn't believe how confident he had gotten and wondered why is he talking to her all of a sudden. Suddenly one of her friends arrived and asked why she was ignoring her. The red-haired girl then reminded her about their plans for tonight and wanted to make sure Dejong was tagging along. Dejong immediately turned around and called by her name, Yeonji. That name rang a bell for Jinsu because she was one of the bullied who used to hang out with Dejong back in high school. She then looked at our boy and wondered who he was because he seemed familiar. Suddenly she remembered it was Dejong's personal errand boy and thought she was going out with him. This pissed her off and she asked if she wants to settle this matter like they did in the high school days. But Yeonji reminded her they are college students now and don't need to act like children. She then grabbed Dejong's arm and told her they were going to the club. Jinsu waved them goodbye and was happy to lose Dejong before going to work. When they reached the convenience store, Yesel wanted to get freaky handcuff toy and wanted to play with it. After putting it on her hands, she got down on her knees and asked Jinsu to go wild this time. So he whipped out his cucumber and Yesel started lubricating his cucumber. While they getting freaky, the manager called her and Jinsu noticed it, but she simply ignored it. But a few moments, they heard someone's footsteps and started panicking. Yesel thought the front door was locked, but Jinsu knew the store manager had unlocked the front door. Yesel panicked and asked Jinsu to untie her hands, but the manager was getting closer to the staff room by the minute. Jinsu was trying his best to untie her, but it seemed impossible. The manager eventually opened the staff room door and was surprised to see no one was there. Yesel and Jinsu had exited through the back door and were standing in an alley. While he was untying her hands, Jinsu told her to go home since they can't let anyone see them like this. But Yesel was freakier than he had thought because the thought of being seen was a turn-on for her. Jinsu was standing there like, how can you live like this? Meanwhile, Dejong and Yanji were walking after gulping down massive amount of food. They then headed to a hookup bar where Yanji was trying to find a decent guy for her friend. But Dejong was still thinking about Jinsu because she didn't get to catch him. That's when she received a phone call from Park. He asked if she was free and Dejong confirmed it. But before she could say anything else, Yanji grabbed the phone from her hand and told Park to bring a friend along with him. After getting her phone back, Dine realized that her friend hasn't changed at all. Soon they boys arrived and the girls greeted them. They exchanged their name and began drinking wine. After drinking, Yanji suddenly became way more interested in the boys and Dejong knew what sort of game she was playing. Mid-conversation, Park's friend left for a short toilet break and he continued his conversation with Dejong. She apologizes for leaving so abruptly back then, but Park seemed very understanding about it. Yanji became nosy again and asked if the two of them are dating and Park said they were only talking. Then Yanji shooted her shot and asked what does he think about her. Dejong couldn't believe it because she never expected her to stoop so low. Unfortunately from Yanji, he politely rejected her, confessed his felling for Dejong right in front of her. She was caught a little off guard but she didn't hate it. Right then Park's friend came back after fapping and asked if something happened while he was gone. Yanji, the attention seeker, she has told him she was sad and asked if he would comfort her. He took the cue and left the restaurant with Yanji, leaving his friend with Dejong. Turns out it was all part of Yanji's plan and she winked at her while leaving. Back to Jinsu, who was leaving the store while getting yelled at by the store manager. He texted Yesel and told her that he took care of everything so she doesn't need to worry. Hearing that, she got straight to the point and asked when is going to clap her cheeks again. He suggested they do it on the weekend but she wanted it right now. To him, she sounded like a parrot who constantly repeats only one thing it knows. He decided to do some laundry and noticed Dejong was quite late. He then accidentally picked up her panties and remembered she was wearing it when they made salad last time. Meanwhile, Dejong was standing outside the apartment building while talking to Park. After hanging up the phone, she felt a warmth inside her that she had never felt before. She then entered the apartment and noticed Jinsu wasn't there. Turns out our boy was in the bathroom, rubbing on out while looking at Dejong's picture. While he was busy, Dejong entered the bathroom as well and caught him red-handed. This pissed her off because she had banned Jinsu from beating his Johnny. So she decided to re-establish her dominance because lately he has been talking back way too much. Dejong once again reminded him that until he pays her 10 million won, his cucumber only belongs to her. Realizing he is screwed, Jinsu decided to hide the photo he was fapping to because if she found out it was her photo, he won't die a pretty death. Dejong asked what he was watching on the phone and he told her it was Sophie Rain's OnlyFans. But she didn't believe it and asked him to show it to her. During the scuffle, she accidentally pushed his phone and dropped it on the floor. Jinsu panicked because he only had one phone. He showed Dejong the cracked screen and asked what was she going to do about it. But she nervously flipped him the bird and told him to suck his mother. This pissed Jinsu off and he asked her to pay him for the amount of time she used his cucumber for making salad. But Dejong clapped back, saying she wasn't the only one who enjoyed the salad. Jinsu stood his ground and proposed the idea of finding out who enjoys the salad-making process more. The one who dispenses their yogurt first loses the challenge. Jinsu decided to grab some balance, but Dejong revealed it was her safe day, so there was no need for that. He plants a kiss on her lips and it was game on from that moment. They tried their best but none of them was losing the battle. In the end, it was tie because they both creamed at the same time. But none of them were admitting it because in reality, they wanted to go for another round. That night, Dejong couldn't get a wink of sleep because she wanted to do it all night long. But she was worried that it might make him even more cocky than he already is. Meanwhile, Jinsu was thinking the same thing and in order to assert his dominance, he got up and walked towards. Dejong could also sense him and started to get nervous. Her heart was beating like a drum and she started to blush. But before anything could happen, he turned around and went to sleep because there are some boundaries that shouldn't be crossed. The following day, he chugged a bottle of energy drink after finishing his shift and praised him for the working hard. When he was about to go home, Yesel jumped him from behind, catching him off guard. Upon asking, she revealed that she was craving Jinsu's thick cucumber and wanted to make salad. While talking to her, he accidentally opened the photo gallery and Yesil saw De Jong's photo in there. She asked who she was and Jinsu told her that she was school friend whom he has group project with. Jinsu noticed she was getting jealous and wondered if she has developed feeling for him. Yesil then took to an empty house and he was skeptical of it, but she assured him that it was empty because she checked it beforehand. They went to the balcony and started making salad in the middle of the night. But then someone was walking on the street and by the looks of it, Jinsu thought they were cooked.